Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, or welcome back to today's tutorial. Today's tutorial will be making this trouser that doesn't have any side seams, and we're making two trousers. This one without side seam, and the other with side seam. Let's get into it. So I'll be using 2 yards of linen fabric, using 1 yard for the front and the other one for the back. You can actually just fold your fabric into four and cut it the same way. So what I'm taking here is I'm trying to take my band, because it's a high-waisted trousers. I'm taking 4 inches. Then I'll put my tape on 1.5 inches like I'm doing in the video, and then I'll take my measurement, my waist to hip point and my waist to crouch. My crouch is 11, but I did 12 inches. So now this is the lines you should take. From my folded side, I'm taking my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches, and I'll put the same measurement for the waist, and then I'll connect it all the way to the crouch line. Then from that point, I'll take 2 inches out and then connect my crouch line. So from my crouch cuff point, I'm just going to draw a straight line from there. You can actually just take your measurement as big as you want at the down part, but I just went with the flow, and then I went ahead to cut it. Then I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the back. I'll cut it the exact same way. Now we're going to open it up and put the right sides facing each other, and then we choose where we want the front to be, and then we come in by 0.5 inch at the front area, and then we cut that out. Just watch what I'm doing in the video and you'll be fine. I just spin that out just to see how it will look like. I've never done this kind of trouser before, so this is how it should look like. So what I'm doing right here is just cutting off the 0.5 inch I told you to take in earlier for the front part of your trouser, and then you cut that out, and yeah, you're done cutting. This had to be the most easiest trouser I have ever sewn in my entire life. I love this so much. This will not take you up to an hour. To take it less than an hour for cutting and sewing, trust me. And it is very beginners friendly. Now for this, I'm just taking in like 2 inches on the side. Now take that all the way to the hem. So I'm also going to take like the border line. That's where I'll be taking all my measurement from. Now for the border line, I started taking all my measurement from 2 inches, because I'll be putting 2 inches band, and then I took my hip point, and then I also took my crouch depth like I did for the first, but this one I did not put any allowance. I didn't put any extra 1 inch. I just took exact crouch depth. And then you go ahead to take how long you want your trousers to be. I love mine really long. Now from the waist, you're going to come in by 1 inch and then connect it to the hip point. Now from the 1 inch you took in, you're going to take your waist measurement divided by 4, your exact waist measurement divided by 4 plus 0.5 inch, and then for the hip point you take your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches, and then come out by 2 inches for the curve for the crouch, and then you connect it like I'm doing in the video. It's literally what I did for the other one. Now for the hem, I took 17 inches from the 2 inches I already kept out previously on the side, and then I will just go ahead and connect like I'm doing in the video. Just connect like that. Now that's how you get the palazzo kind of feel. For the palazzo trouser, if you do not need any sort of allowance, if you want it to be fitted, please do not add the extra 3 inches allowance I added on the hip and crouch area. Just go ahead and cut your main measurement the exact way it is. Now I'll place the front pattern on another fabric to cut out our back pattern. So for our crouch depth, I'm going to go out by 2 inches. That's for the back, and then around the hip point and waist, I'm going to come out by 2 inches like I'm doing in the video, and then I'll go ahead and connect it with a slight curve. Now from the inseam, I'm going to take 2 inches all the way to the hem. So this actually works really well for me. That is why I continue to use this method. Now for our center back, we're going to go up by 1 inch for our extension, and then you take the front measurement, whatever you have on the waist, you put it down like I'm doing in the video. You put it in a slanted way, and then you take the measurement, then connect it to the hip point and all the way down like I'm doing in the video. So after doing that, you go ahead and cut out your pattern, well, your fabric. So after cutting that, we're going to go ahead and cut our waistband. Your waistband should be your waist measurements plus 2 inches. So and I'm cutting it by 5 inches. So when I fold it, it's going to be 2.5 inches. I said your band measurement should be your waist measurement plus 2 inches because you can always cut out the excess if you have any. So I have more than my waist measurement. So I'll go ahead and iron Esther on the band. Now this is our two trousers, one without side seam and one with side seam. Now we're going to sew our front crouch, leaving 2 inches before the end of the crouch. After that, we're going to bring our back pattern, and then we are going to pin the inseam together, the front and the back inseam, and then we'll go ahead and sew it and do the same thing for the other side before we go ahead and finish the crouch area. This will avoid it from tearing. After you do this, you should go ahead and weave it if you have a weaving machine. I went ahead to weave mine off camera, and I'll show you how it looks. Now we're going to sew a long stitch at the back for the back crouch, connecting it to the front like so. Now this is what your trouser should look like. Don't forget to weave all the rough edges. So after we do that, we're going to bend our elastic casing for our elastic for the waistband. So making the elastic casing, I ended up using 1.5 inches, like bending it 1.5 inches because my elastic was 1 inch, and then I'll mark 2 inches at the back for opening, so I'll be able to fix my elastic and bring it out before closing the elastic casing. So what I'm doing here is just sewing it for my elastic casing, and then I'm going ahead to fix my elastic. How I got my elastic was I put it around my waist to fit exactly how I wanted it to fit. Now we're going to pass our elastic through our elastic casing with the opening we left earlier. So this is what you're going to do. Do not forget to use pin to hold it down when you get to the end of it, so it doesn't just go all the way inside. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm trying to just use pin to hold it down so I do not cry and I do not do extra work. It's so annoying when something like that happens. So just continue passing through elastic, break it up from the other side, and then you're going to sew like more like top stitch on the elastic. So you top stitch on the elastic before you close out the opening you had earlier, and you top stitch on the elastic by doing a back and forth stitch so it holds the elastic properly and there's no chance for it to lose. So at this point, I was just trying out the trouser to make sure it fits perfectly, to make sure that this is the exact waist I want. If I want it tighter, I'd have gone ahead and then tighten it before closing up the opening I had. So yeah, yay. So after I finished fitting, I was satisfied with what I had, and then I'll go ahead and then to close my opening, and I'll show you what to do next. So after that, I'll go ahead and turn my trouser to the right side, and then I'll top stitch on the elastic. Like you're going to stretch and sew to give it that kind of a feel of, I think, joggers. Yeah. Well, this is not really compulsory. You can skip this step if you don't like something like this. So after I was done with that, I took my full length measurement to make sure I have the exact length I wanted, and then I'll go ahead and cut it if it's too long, and then I'll go ahead and finish the hem like I'm doing in the video. So after sewing the hem of the trouser, you are done with this particular trouser. You can stop here if this is what you're aiming at, or you can continue if you want to see how I did the trouser with the seam. So for the trouser with the side seam, we're repeating the exact same thing we did for our trouser without side seam. The only difference is that for this one, we'll be joining our side. The other one, we did not join any side. So I'm trying to join my back pattern to my front pattern using the inseam like I did for the first one. So this is more like a better explanation. So just follow whatever I'm doing in the video and you'll be fine. Just a quick snack break right here. So go ahead and sew your inseam and repeat the same thing for the other side as well. So after joining the inseam, I'll go ahead and weave it all the way around, and I'll weave a point for the back, which is where I'll be putting my zip. I'll weave it separately, not together like it's showing in the video. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to pin my crouch from my front crouch all the way to the back. I'll pin it to the point where I'll be taking my zip. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking 7 inches for my zipper allowance. 7.5 I took. I would have just taken 6, but yeah, 7.5 was also fine. And then I'll go ahead and sew it up to the point which I marked, leaving the back zipper allowance open. And after that, I'll go ahead and join my side seam using 1/2 inch. I'll join it all the way to the down part. So whatever I'm doing to the right side, I'm doing the same thing to the left side as well. I'm just sewing the side by 0.5 inches. So this is what I have right now. You go ahead and weave the side of your trouser. So after doing that, I'll go ahead and join my waistband to my trouser. I've already gone ahead to iron it, folded it into two. So it's now 2.5 inches. So I'll be sewing 1/2 inch all the way around my waist measurement. So at this point, I've sewn my waistband to my trouser, and this is what I have. You want to go ahead and iron it. So you want to fold your trouser into two like I'm doing in the video, and then take your waist measurement divided by 2. Whatever you get is the amount of zipper allowance you need to take in. So this is me just trying to fit the trouser. I love it. I just needed to do some adjustments on the side. I didn't like how the side was bulging, so I went ahead and did the adjustment, and then I went ahead to sew my zipper. Make sure you sew your zip to your zipper allowance you have after taking your waist measurement divided by 2, and the allowance you got is the zipper allowance you'll be using. After I sewed the zipper, I finished up the trouser hem, and I was done with this particular trousers. Thank you so much for tuning into today's tutorial. I hope this tutorial was useful, and please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and please don't forget to also leave on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Let me know in the comment section which of this trouser you'll be trying, and also let me know what you would like to see next. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Happy sewing!